Il y a un gamin qui a fait une connerie, je pense qu'il a voulu.
Parce que les filets sont incorporés avec le bassin, tout le monde se Well, we went back. Maybe we spoiled the last book.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Very warm morning again. As I heard, we have 5 drops of rain during the night. And that's all, I think, although they predicted some showers. Temperature predicted for today again is between 29 and 33 degrees. It's going to be a bit cloudy, but as I can see, no rain.
29 to 33.
This morning we are taking you along the northern coast of the island of Brac, and first we are going to Škrip, one of the smallest, one of the oldest villages on the island of Brac, situated in its interior, although not too far from the sea. And over there we are going to visit small archaeological and ethnographical museum. After that, we will proceed along the northern coast to Pucisca, one of the most beautiful villages here on the island. You will see, situated around such a deep bay with the beautiful stone houses. Even the new stone houses are nice, very well blended. Over there we are going to visit the stone masonry school. No students today. Today there. The school. They are going to be back to school on next Monday. But still, we are going to visit the school. You are going to see some wonderful works they done there. I'll tell you a few words about the school, about the stone, and then after that you will have some free time for yourselves over there in Pucisca. We should be back here shortly before 1 o'clock. Our driver for today is Slave, local man, so he knows all shortcuts around. Situated in the northern basin, and Brac is the biggest of the Dalmatian islands. It's about 40 kilometers long, 4 to 14 kilometers wide, and it covers an area of 394 square kilometers. The length of the coast of the island is about 170 kilometers. That would be a bit more than 100 miles. Along the coast there are 10 villages, all of them equally beautiful and interesting as a holiday resorts. And then in the interior of the island there are 12 smaller villages and hamlets. The total number of population on the island of Hvar is a bit less than island of Brac, sorry. It's a bit less than 14,000, what makes Brac one of the best inhabited islands in Croatia. All those villages along the coast established their present shape somewhere on the beginning of the 19th century, when mainly owing to such a good sales of olive oil and wine. But when phylloxera, wine disease, destroyed all the vineyards on the island on the beginning of the 20th century, people all of a sudden were, without any income, and they started, to leave the island. A lot of them went to far countries, countries of Latin America or to the States. On the beginning of the 20th century, Brac had about 25,000 inhabitants, so nearly a double number than today. Too many people left the island, and still today there is a quite big society of people from Brac in the countries of Latin America, especially in Chile. Those days situation is better, and for example Brac is one of rare islands in Croatia where you find quite a lot of young people. On all other our islands mainly you find aged population. Here that's not the case, luckily. On several locations in Croatia, here on the island of Brac, on high levels of Biokovo mountain, and then on the island of Mljet. You can see few houses in front of us here on the island. There are about 300 people who live here permanently, and people who live here, they are employed either in the nearby quarries or down by the coast in one of hotels, restaurants, or a similar thing. Well, according to archaeological finds, Skrip is one of the oldest places on the island. And according to legend, Skrip is the birthplace of Helen, mother of Emperor Constantine or Constantine the Great. And well, therefore, the parish church and the painting on the main altar are dedicated to Helen. Pretty soon we are going to reach the very center of this small place. Then we will leave the bus and we take a short walk to that small Brac museum. Over there I'm going to tell you a few words about the museum. When we get in, I tell you a few words about the things that you can see in the museum. You can take a look around, and then after that, if you like, you can take a short walk from the museum up to the plateau terrace from where you will have a very nice view on one of those fertile valleys here on the island of Brac.
That back part, the back wheel went off there. Don't you not feel
Just one truck in the state. It's like right over a bridge with no barriers. Just here.
Few sheep to the left. People on the island of Brac have sheep, mainly, you know, for meat, but they produce very good cheese as well here. Do you know what's that plant, you know, growing out of the wall? Those are capers. Those are capers, no flowers at the moment. They have lovely, you know, fluffy flowers. And usually they grow like this, side out of the wall or somewhere close to the sea, you know, between the rocks. And the wild ones have, you know, much better taste than those we cultivate. Yes, guarding the house.
Even guarding the house. Very well designed.
Big one?
First time I met it was about
It's back there, yes, but, yeah, but not now, yeah. This is wandering around.
genuine.
Oh,
Właśnie na jednej z tych wycieczek z Poreczku byliśmy w takiej wsi. Akurat deszcz padał, jakby tam to było więcej kotów niż ludzi. I facetka wyszła z taką miednicą, i karmiła i wszystkie koty ze wszystkich tych ruin wyleciały.
That's very interesting.
Like it's defense, it's defense.
Genuine.
And different, totally different from the
I like such things. When they have character.
David.
płaszcz od deszczu. Widać, jak trzeba coś małego tylko
another group in. Morning. How many people in? Not too many. No. Now we can.
8.
Oh. Thanks. Ladies and gentlemen, before we get, you know, into the museum, just to show you, you know, where to go later if you like, to go to that plateau terrace from where you have wonderful view on the valley, and then on the other side as well on the mainland. You simply proceed along this, you know, small street. You will pass by the cemetery, old part, new part. You turn right, and you will get to that, you know, plateau or terrace. On a cemetery, there is a tiny church of Holy Spirit, you know, rebuilt, enlarged from 9th till 11th century. Walking there, you know, take a look on the building, you know, of the museum from the back side. It's a very typical, you know, Dalmatian house made of stone with a roof made of stone slides with a whitewash on it, and with a stone gathering for water going all around. Now first we get into the yard of the museum. Rötra. Look at the fig tree growing out
Yes, all the way up
of nowhere.
Of nowhere, yeah, amazing.
Amazing. It
It
can
is.
grow out of water.
Can they?
Yeah, and then out of nothing as
Out
well.
of nothing, yeah.
There, please, watch your step. Watch your step there, please. Watch your please, yes. Watch your step, then you can take a look around. Here, in this room, you can see that there are quite a lot of photos of different characters. Quite interesting. Here you we find about 30 either early Christian or medieval churches, and that's more this archaeological part of the museum. And over there you can see items or archaeological finds from Greek and Roman time. That means from the 4th century BC until some 4th, 6th century AD. Taking those wooden steps over there, you will get into that, Roman mausoleum where Prisca and Valeria were buried. Here on the wall, you can see a photo. It's just one of the hills on the island of Brac, covered by those stone piles. You see, it's only one hill, and you see the number of stone piles. In Croatia, Brac people are known as quite tight money-wise, and we have hundreds of jokes on them, which is completely unfair because they are very friendly and very hospitable people, but pretty economical. But I think only if you look only on this spot, only on this hill covered, with those stone piles, if you think about all hard, job people have to collect those stones, I think we can understand if they are, a bit more economical than other people. Here above my head, you can see a piece of stone with some inscription with kind of strange letters. That's a script that we used in the Middle Ages. This is it's called Bosančica or Croatian Cyrillic. In the Middle Ages, for some time here on the island of Brac, and especially across the sea on the mainland in the area around Omiš, we used to use 3 different scripts. Croatian Cyrillic or Bosančica was used for secular purposes, Glagolitic script for religious purposes, and then Latin script for correspondence with other countries and cities. From the 14th century, you know, we adopted Latin alphabet. Do you know what's written here?
Mind your head.
It says Welcome Saga. Already in the Middle Ages they knew you would be coming around. Ladies and gentlemen, take a look around and you know, you can walk over there to the terraces, I already said, and please be back on bus 5 to 10. Watch your step, watch your head, wherever you go.
Didn't you send us?
Yeah, go up here. Not that far. Out of here and turn left.
Houses, summer houses for people coming from a different part of Croatia, or people from Brac who live and work in Split those days. So during the summer this is quite busy place, but during the winter it's pretty quiet. The bay is lovely. Of Splitska there is a road down there, but buses and lorries are not allowed to go down there. In Roman times, Splitska was a port through which stone for the construction of Diocletian Palace was shipped across the sea. The very first Roman quarries were in this area between Škrip and Splitska, and stone blocks were brought down to the port by the means of a ramp. Ancient port of Splitska today is some 2 meters under the water. Because over those 2 millennia, water level has risen for about 2 meters. There is a very nice walk from Splitska to nearby village of Postira. In some length of 3 kilometers, it goes down by the sea, partly through the pine woods. If you maybe like to do that walk, you would need to come either to Splitska or Postira by bus, because it's not fun at all to walk from Supertar to Splitska, because you have to walk along the main road. If you maybe decide to come here to do that walk, you need to know that buses are not allowed down there to Splitska, so bus will drop you on the main road by the village, while buses are getting into the center of Postira. On our left hand side across the sea you can see the town of Omiš. Mainly people would come there, Illyrians, already in the Iron Age, and the very first name of island of Brac actually derives from the Illyrian word for deer, the Brentos. Later, Greeks call it Elafos after their word for deer. So we suppose, actually we know for sure that deer once lived on this island, but not anymore. Now, more than 200 years, nobody have seen deer on the island. Local hunters wanted to reintroduce the deer on the island. So far, they haven't done that, so we'll see what will be. Although those, living conditions are pretty poor for deer. Greeks who settled our coast in the 4th century BC. They settled the islands of Vis and Hvar, established their colonies along the coast, never settled the island of Brac. Nobody knows why. But, according to archaeological finds, they were here. At least, they did some trading with the local Illyrian population. Romans were first inhabitants, on the island to build some permanent, settlements, buildings, and people from Salona, rich Salonians, built there some residences here on the island of Brac, remains of which we can see on several places here on the island. Brac was first subject to Salona. When Salona was destroyed on the beginning of the 7th century by Slavs and others, some people from Salona found refuge here on the island of Brac, which at that time was under the nominal rule of Byzantium. Slav people came here in the 7th century following the Romans, and the same, along our coast, and Brac, as the rest of our coast, became part of the very first Croatian state somewhere on the beginning of the 9th century. For a few centuries it was under the rule of Croatian kings, then under the Hungaro-Croatian kings, and then in 1420 Brac, as the rest of our coast, came under the rule of Venice. We were under the Venetian rule for almost 4 centuries, and traveling around, especially visiting, those lovely towns along the coast, one can easily see Venetian influence, especially in architectural style in those beautiful towns. After the fall of Venice in 1797, Brac and the rest of, Croatia came under the rule of Austria. We were under the Austrian rule for almost 2 centuries, until the end of the First World War or fall of Austro-Hungarian monarchy. With a short break somewhere on the beginning of the 19th century, when Napoleon troops came to those parts. So our coast was under the rule of Napoleon from 1806 until 1813. French were not bad rulers at all. During their time, a lot of roads were built, agriculture flourished, primary school became compulsory, and the very first newspapers in Croatian language were printed at that time. But their rule didn't last for long. After the First World War, Brac, as the rest of Croatia, became part of a kingdom of Serbs, Croats and Slovenians, later to be renamed in Kingdom of Yugoslavia. After the Second World War, Brac, as a part of Croatia, became part of former Yugoslavia, and from 1991 Brac is the part of independent state of Croatia. During the Second World War, the big fightings took place here, unfortunately, and the the island, actually whole Dalmatia, was occupied for 4 years, from 41 till 43 by Italians, and then from 43 till 45 by Germans. When Germans were approaching the area, they presented, big threat, as we all know. And then was decided, to send, people away, especially, elderly people, women and children, to protect them. And people living in Dalmatia, in whole Dalmatia, actually, were refugees for almost 2 years, situated in a Sinai desert. Some of them spent there almost, 2 years. It was a kind of experience for all of them. My parents were teenagers at that time, both of them. They were, refugees. Those days we knew how desert looked like, at least, we saw desert on the TV. Imagine them, at that time, all of a sudden they found themselves in the middle of a desert. But, they say everything was, pretty well organized. They established school, hospital, whatever they needed, and they lived under those tents, from year to two. In our last war, in the 90s, Brac, was affected, luckily. Only, western side of the island one day, when Split was shelled from the Navy ships of former Yugoslavia, and then western side was shelled slightly. Luckily, nobody was killed and no big damages at all. I hope you listen carefully. You know that by the end of your holiday we are going to have a quiz. I'm serious. Your next saga holiday depends on your scores. Excavation and processing of stone, and it has been always like this in this area. People who living here are engaged in tourism. There is even small, very nice hotel down there in Pucisca, but Pucisca is one of those rare places along our coast where tourist trade doesn't mean, the most important, doesn't have the most important role. That's here, stone industry. Still today, at least one member of every single family is engaged in a stone industry. The biggest quarry on the island is situated in the vicinity of Pucisca, can be seen from the road, can be visited for safety and security reasons. And there are several trades related to excavation and processing of stone, such as, going to give you some Croatian names with explanation: Kavaduri, people who harvest or cut out the stone; Zbakaduri, people who process the stone roughly, stone masons who process the stone finally; and Manavali, people who clean, carry and load the stone. Their job maybe is the most difficult. All those conquerors over the centuries were attracted by this white limestone, by those huge quarries that we have here in the vicinity of Pucisca. They all, wanted part of that, and people from Pucisca over the centuries, had hard time, especially in the Middle Ages when Turks wanted, this part of the island, and did, a lot of attacks. And to defend themselves, people from Pucisca in the 15th and 16th century built 13 castles with defensive towers. And when in 1571 the Turks attacked Pucisca from their, ships, set whole village on fire, locals managed to defend themselves thanks to those 13 defensive towers. 3 of those towers have been preserved till present day, and we are going to see them once we get down in the center. Pretty soon we will reach the center, then we will leave the bus and we take a walk to the stone masonry school that we are going to visit. I don't know, 5 minutes walking along the waterfront, so that means completely on a flat area. We are going to visit the school. I'm going to tell you a few words about the school, and after that you will have, plenty of free time for yourself to explore this lovely place. You can take a walk along the waterfront. You can visit the church, parish church, that usually it's open. There are some very nice paintings of Palma de Younger in the church, beautiful chandeliers, and a beautiful altar of St. Anthony carved in wood. Maybe the best Renaissance piece of that kind in Dalmatia. Mainly, here everything is made of stone. Here we have a lovely altar carved in wood. There are coffee shops, of course, down there, so you can sit, have a coffee, whatever you like to do. Good. House well behind us. Okay, we are reversing. So the house that you are going to see on your left hand side, it's the primary school. Once we stop, that's the primary school, beautiful stone building from the beginning of the 20th century. Now, to your left, behind those tamarisk trees. And next to the school, there is a small market where there are some stalls, where you can buy such a nice small stone souvenirs. Some of them are, small and, quite light to carry, back home, and prices are, pretty convenient here. Coffee shops, as you can see, everywhere. One with a big terrace in front of our bus. Here we are getting off the bus. Please do follow me to the school. Foto je napravljena, čak ima fotografije koja mogu neke fotografije poslati. Isto da se vidi.
We are nearly all there. Ladies and gentlemen, won't keep you for long here, don't worry. Already here you can see some wonderful works of our students from this school. You see more over there, you will see some of them, working, dressing the stone. Are they coming in?
Car, loads of people missing.
Yeah, I can say that. I got it. I think it'll be Sunday, mate.
Coming inside as well as going that way.
You know the trains that come down, he's cruising out of them into that place.
On here.
I thought he wanted to swimming.
Yeah. So is it all flooding in there then?
Yeah, you know where those drain pipes are?
Can you see it?
All the water coming out.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. Oh, way
She wasn't too bad going round.
You got this up, didn't you?
Wow.
So we're going now. You're hitting me.
Have you seen how much water will it make down the street?
James.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
It's like a real flood. Croatia needs rain.
Well,
It was raining in spring, so it's all
I mean, they'll be glad of the rain. We don't need it on holiday now. No, this is really heavy. What do you think
You need to see a bit of, you know.
Croatians over
Yeah, they're not such a lot of it all the time.
Oh, is it flooded over?
So brilliant, hang on. All right.
yeah, have we got some more wet tyres?
That swirl there.
Very slick socks.